180 and wind rapid speed down to 2,500.
Point Miami, reduce speed to 180.
BlackBox.
All right, so we are on our 23rd episode today, the number of Jordan, and I have with me some special guests. Sister Ricks, other known as Patrice Ricks, the great lady of the house, and I'm blanking. Pastor Rick's going to kill me. Your church in Norfolk,
St. John's AME Church.
St. John's AME Church in Norfolk. Check them out if you're ever in downtown Norfolk. What's your church times? What's your Well, yeah, COVID right now, right? Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about those church times. But her son, Leon. Or right. Pastor Rick's son, too. So Leon Ricks. And I had them on my show today because these are two entrepreneurs that we're going to talk about their business and the things that they do outside of the church and the entrepreneurship of leading people to Jesus. Here on earth, that next earthly gift of being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, and I wanted to have you guys on the show because of what I've just watched in you and what's been passed down to your son is the gift of entrepreneurship, and just cheerlead those people in our community that will take a risk at doing something in business. So thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you, bro. It's an honor, man.
It's an honor to have you guys here. You look so much like your dad over here. It's a little scary.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
I don't owe you no money, do it?
Well, we'll ask Pastor Rick. So Leon is one of your sons. How many children do you have?
we have 3 children, 2 older girls, and then Leon came. Once Leon came, we were done.
Leon was, uh-oh, number 3.
Yeah. That's my first hearing this one, man.
So you were telling me off camera that your other 2 children, the girls, are entrepreneurs themselves, right?
That's correct.
What
Yes.
are they getting into?
Our oldest daughter, Devona, she lives in Houma, Louisiana. She has a company called the Midnight Crafter. And she is able to produce T-shirts or anything that you want personalized. She can do it for you, and she can ship it to you. And she has a website. So
What is it? We'll give her a shout out.
Go check out the Midnight Crafter.
The Midnight Crafter. We'll put that on our site and send folks to us. So like silk screening and so T-shirts that are silk screen. That's what she does.
It's vinyl, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there a difference? I mean, like, I guess there's some are heat pressed versus vinyl.
It's the technique and how it comes out. You know how some shirts look like the logo sitting on top, versus being inside of it.
Yeah.
Some shirts you can iron, some you can't.
Right.
Even with an image on it.
And what would hers be? Where would that fall in the?
The vinyl doesn't crack.
Okay.
Like you know how some shirts get older and they crack.
Yeah.
Vinyl doesn't crack, so it lasts longer. It's soft and it lasts longer.
I actually like that. I want to check that out myself. So maybe we'll get some T-shirts from her. So that'd be cool. But she does T-shirts and other brand wear.
Yes, custom stuff like.
Okay. We'll get to Leon in a few minutes. But your other daughter, what does she do?
Then we have another daughter, Sadiri, who is a nurse at CHKD. However, she has the entrepreneurial blood in her as well, and so she does kind of the same thing that our oldest daughter does. She has the T-shirts and she makes the masks. So she orders. You can order sets from her, a matching T-shirt and a mask, or anything that you want personalized. A coffee mug. She has a lot of pastors who order coffee mugs from her, so they can put their names on them when they're drinking their whatever their choice of drink is.
Glass of water. Right?
Yes.
So
and so she does that as well.
Well, that's a great segue, Patrice, because one of the things we like to do at the beginning of every episode or podcast that we do is salute our men and women in uniform and our military. You know, being in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, we're in one of the largest military communities probably in the world. I think this is the largest operating base, naval operating base in the world, here in Norfolk, Virginia. But we always like to salute our military and do a little toast to them. So Leon and I are going to do a little toast with some Blue Label Johnny Walker and
J-Dub.
Yes, J-Dub. And you're going to grace us with some Deer Park water there. So, so let's do a toast for Leon, to our nation's military, the men and women who sacrifice every day. Thank you for your service, Sister Rick.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. And I always have a little sip along the way too to keep the whistle wet. You want some more?
I noticed yours was a little more than mine. I wasn't going to say nothing.
Yeah, Noah's trying to hurt me over here today. He's the pourer. I was telling.
I had the guest glass.
Come on, you're supposed to take care of the guests and not get the
I'm fine,
the host
man.
tips.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
What's that? Oh, his mom's are. Oh, okay. He's got your back over there, Leon. Yeah, I was telling Patrice that Magnum there. We're trying to get Johnny Walker to actually, help us salute the military, because rumor has it military folks like to have a little taste of the spirits every now and again. Yeah, rumor. So they haven't reached out to us yet. We might tap them on the shoulder soon and say, look,
yeah, that would be great, man.
We give them a toast, and I'm a prior Marine, which means I'm still a Marine. Mm-hmm. Just I can't fit in my uniform anymore. But yeah, those folks are certainly important to our ability to be capitalists in our country.
Right. Yeah.
So thank you to all of you that serve out there. Appreciate it. Even our audio guy behind the camera over there is a Army reservist right now. Noah.
Oh, man.
So
Thanks,
don't mess
Noah.
it up.
Shout
Army.
out to Noah.
Yeah. Service, Noah.
And Ian's over there. He's a lieutenant.
Thank you,
in
Ian.
God's Army.
All right.
Oh, man.
All right.
Soldier.
That's right.
Soldier.
And Pastor Ricks, we'll give him a shout out today. He's a general
Yes.
in God's Army.
Yes.
Pastor in your church there in Norfolk. So
That's right.
we're going to have you on the show soon, Pastor Ricks. So you behave and make sure you're ready for this. He's coming in with his grandson, who's
That's right. With
one of your
Khalil.
up and coming music producers,
Right.
Leon. So watch out; he might be gunning for your spot
Come
there.
here.
So Leon, we were talking pre-show. You make these beautiful candles, which we give these away to our clients in my financial firm. But you have this entrepreneurial spirit that you came by it honest through your mom. Right. Does Pastor Ricks make anything? Is he creative like that? Besides trouble?
He does, but I probably shouldn't say it on.
No.
What?
Uh-oh. Leon, tell us.
I don't even.
You don't know? Okay.
Some things you have to just keep to yourself.
We're going to get that out of him, and we'll reserve that
cut.
for the show. Yeah.
I want to know that.
We're going to talk about this off camera.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. All right.
What could he? What?
I don't
could
know.
he eat?
Hopefully it's not Adam and Eve. Is it?
Like, moonshine.
That's right. Oh, boy. We find something new to harass you about, Pastor. So, he's always teasing me every time he comes to meet with me. Mm-hmm. He says I'm always killing him off. So I'm always preparing their financial
right.
world as if he's going first.
Yeah.
Yes, every
So
time.
I don't mean to do that. It just kind of happens. So. But in all seriousness, as an entrepreneur, you started making candles. But that's really not like your main gig. One of the things you said to me, which is going to be kind of the theme of the show today, is you said, Kenny, you got to have a lot of poles in the water, meaning as a fisherman, Correct. If you just got one line in the water, you got one shot at it.
One shot.
So tell me a little bit about Perfect 10, but before you get into the candle piece, what's one of your main gigs? You were telling me about music.
So I do music. I had a history in music. I had a record deal as an artist Been on a few tours, a few Grammy-winning projects.
Nice.
I got a few industry friends, and then I just took all the knowledge and opened my own studio so that I could kind of teach and instruct the younger kids. You know what I mean? I say kids, but 18, 20. The younger guys that don't.
You got any 51-year-old white guys with green? No.
Nah, not yet.
You
Not
don't
yet.
need. Not yet.
Nah.
So there's hope.
Pull up.
Okay. All right. I might come see you. Especially if they need some spoof or something. I might be the guy. So music.
Yeah, music.
Favorite artist. Gonna call you out right here
Today?
in the world. Today.
Right now.
Patrice Ritz.
I'd say I was gonna say me.
Yeah. I haven't heard it yet.
Which
That
is a
might
product, but I'll go J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
All right. So back in the day when your mom and dad were courting, that's probably
The year
2000
of our Lord,
Yeah.
19.
So where do you get inspiration from in terms of the tracks you make, the things you produce? Is it old school stuff or is it?
It is.
J. Cole day.
Nah, it's old school stuff.
Yeah.
Al Green.
Oh,
You know,
Green.
the things that I heard around the house or in the car. I don't know if you.
So there was some Al Green back in the day going on, huh?
Definitely
Yeah.
Al Green. Definitely 1350.
Oh.
You remember that?
Breaking it out
You
now.
remember 1350?
So are you
Bobby
guys
J. You remember
Are you
Bobby
gonna pull
J?
up any of those on? You'll have to put some. Noah's over there shaking his head like, what is he talking about?
I don't know.
Bobby J.
Noah's from the Midwest
Okay.
cornfields where they didn't get out much. So, right, Noah? So, in the music business, where do you find that kind of correlates with, being an entrepreneur and making candles? Where do you find some correlation? Where do you find some inspiration in candle making as you would in music?
So I would say the common denominator is therapy. I do it. I start off doing it for me. You know what I mean? And what happens after that it's just in God's hands. But it's all therapy. If money didn't exist, I would do music and create something that starts as pieces and at the end it's a whole thing. You know what I mean? So it's therapy for me. Like when I'm in the kitchen stirring, I'm not thinking about problems. I'm kind of just creating.
Absorbed in the moment of creativity.
Right,
yeah.
similar to a kid coloring,
Yeah.
And that's what this product gave me, was another outlet of something to create and then get the instant gratification of it's a whole product that could be something.
Yeah. So, Patrice, would you say that's the same for you, like in wreath making? Is there a certain amount of joy that comes when you're making these products? Do you go into a different zone when you're in crafting?
Yes, definitely. When I make an item, I am very careful that I want to pray over the item and that wherever that item lands, it brings as much joy to that person as it has brought to me in the creating of that item. And the items are always different. The items are unique. And it just brings me back to how we are and how God made us all different. God made us all unique.
Yeah.
Millions of people God has made, yet none of us are exactly alike. Even the identical twins are not exactly alike.
True story.
And, it's just like what an awesome God we serve, that he's able to do all of this, and yet so many people, and yet none of us are exactly alike. And it just takes me into the zone of being grateful that God has given me the ability to do this and to share some joy. There's so much out here that is not joyful right now.
Yeah.
And so to share a little bit of joy with somebody else, and when it's in their home and they can look at it and put a smile on their face, I believe it's worth it.
It's opportune that we're having this conversation now because as we're producing this, we're coming up on about a week before Thanksgiving. Right. And, with what's going on still in 2020, this thing, COVID, it's really easy to find some negativity in the world, isn't it?
It is. Very.
But what you choose to set your sight on, what you choose to set your vision on of how you see the planet has a lot to do with how you experience this world, right?
That's right.
I love that thought, and I love that I think I heard you say you pray over each one of these, and that there's I'm guessing, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but a blessing over each one of those, right?
That's exactly right.
So with that, like music, there's power in music, right? There's this energy, a transfer of energy. And we as human beings have the ability to either transfer a sense of positivity to the person across from us.
Right.
You guys ever been in a room and you're maybe in a family party? I'll just be transparent. This has happened in my house where the negative cousin comes over.
Right.
I'm not going to mention any cousins.
Right.
But everybody's great until the negative Nancy.
Right.
No pun against Nancy's or Karen's this week, right? when that negative person comes into the room, the energy of the room changes.
Right.
So I would just encourage people that are listening to our podcast is to take exactly what you're saying is that, from your music to your candles to anything that you're doing as an entrepreneur, that's serious business.
That's correct.
That you've got an ability to shape a person's mindset and to shape their energy. And God's given us that ability to share that with each other. And we can either bring that positive energy, that positive spirit. My Christian friends as us, we would call it the Holy Spirit. You bring that into the room, or you can bring the mean old grumpy devil to the room.
Right.
So you get to decide who shows up.
And it's contagious.
It is so contagious, right?
You're in a good mood and somebody come with they mess, and it's like, man, just listening can change your mood.
Right. So shaping that atmosphere, shaping the perception. I even love, like with your candles, you've named your business here, this retail section that you're in, this line in the water that you have.
Correct.
Perfect 10. How did you come up with that?
Well, that I knew eventually I wanted to ship. So 10s typically do better in the mail as opposed to glass.
Okay.
And then I also wanted a product that wasn't so feminine. There's like a kind of like guys won't go out and buy candles. They're all, colors and
frou-frou, yeah.
Right, know. So it's like something that a studio owner or, a guy wouldn't mind purchasing this product, So it's universal, all silver. It's called the Perfect 10.
I like that.
And they're all in 10s,
Yeah. Now, we were talking about this off camera. This is still in a kind of a startup phase for you.
Correct.
In your mind's eye, you'd said something really cool to me earlier in the back room, and hopefully you'll repeat it again. But
I say it's cool stuff all the time.
Yeah,
man.
right.
Which one?
Which one? But what you had said specifically is you said, music's my passion. Music's like my main thing.
Right.
But this might be for another generation.
Right.
Is what I heard you say.
Right.
And to think that you're thinking, for it blessed me to know that you're thinking that way, that this is legacy driven for you. It's not just selfishly about you and trying to put a buck in your pocket.
Right.
Now, everybody, you shouldn't go into anything with, well, God, you're not going to bless me. This is going to be horrible. This is a bad business decision.
Right.
No, you step into this with the power and the belief that it's going to turn into a great business one day.
Right.
Maybe not for you, but maybe for one of your nieces or nephews. I think the way you were putting that.
Right.
Where does that come from? Where does that inspiration and that thought, that mindset come from?
It's just more. I always felt, I like money. Don't get me wrong, but I never was driven by only the money. I feel like people are like hoarders of blessings, and I kind of live by the motto of give us this day our daily bread.
Yeah.
So as long as I have enough for today and I'm happy, I'm good with that. So it's like today, I would be okay today with the how can I?
So putting out there today, God's got you covered today,
Right.
And is this like a storehouse?
So it's like
mentality for you?
it's basically like if you put them first, everything will fall into place. So it wasn't so money driven. So it's for the next generation. I felt like it's an investment. Some investments are short term, some are long term.
Yeah.
Some will give you a return next week. Some next year, and this is more of a long term. I wouldn't mind if it made us rich tomorrow. Who wouldn't mind that? But it's one of those long term. I could show my nieces, my loved ones how to make it, and they could be owners of something. You know what I mean? Not just the one map, the one road map. School, college, and be the best worker. This is the opportunity to own something if they want to.
Yeah, I think one of the things we're seeing in our society today, and Patrice, you could probably speak to this as a pastor in a local community, is that today people see an image of what they think they should be. They might see role models that, whether it be a role model as a basketball player or as an influencer on Instagram or Facebook, and they have these images of what it means to be successful. And what I want to show to people and to an audience is that success is a mindset, not necessarily a number in your bank account. Right?
That's
like
So
exactly
there's
right.
a lot of people who are walking around who are very, very wealthy as
Right.
it pertains to the U.S.
Numbers,
dollar.
Right. And
But
it's
they're
sad.
very sad and
Right.
poor.
And empty on the inside.
Yeah.
Right.
So you see that spectrum, I think, in church communities probably than anywhere else. Would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely. I agree with that. You cannot purchase joy, and so joy comes from the gift that God gives you on the inside.
Yeah.
And so then we sing a song sometimes, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. So when
good.
we have joy on the inside, joy doesn't come from money. Joy comes from the love and the gift of God. And we have to make sure that we understand that.
Yeah.
Once we have that joy, we're able to go out and spread it to other people. And it's the way we look at things. And I have this, I guess, inside joke with Pastor Ricks. And I said, we got to look at the donut and not at the hole. And he always jokes with me, here you come with that donut again. And I think if God ever shows me how I can make a donut, I'm going to do that. That'll be one of my crafts. But,
You've come pretty close with your wreaths before.
That's true.
donut.
Now, if you can tell me I can eat it like a donut, sign me up.
But people just tend to look at the hole, and you can get sucked into that hole.
Yeah.
But when you look at the donut, you can go around and you can see all the good things. Sometimes they have candy sprinkles, and they come with different colors, and you can get a chocolate or you can get a frosted, and you can just see different possibilities. And so we've got to retrain our minds. And my son says, that we don't always have to do the route that's been thought to be the best, because we know now that that's not the best anymore. Lots of people have done the graduate, go to college, get the degree, work for someone else. And sometimes God wants us to be the boss.
Yeah, right. And that starts with a belief system. And I go back to, we're going to do kind of part 2 of this podcast, is that we're going to kind of do a little science experiment. Okay. Where we're going to take this entrepreneurial spirit that you have with candles, And we're going to try to prove to consumers that you can have a startup and actually turn a startup into a full-fledged business as a going concern, meaning a business that's profitable, a business that we can show people how to sell these products that if they come up with a perfect 10 or they come up with a crafting idea, that I think people have to step outside of the negative culture that we're in right now, is that there's only one way to do it. There's only one way to have success in this life, and it's not necessarily about elementary school, middle school, high school, go to college and get a degree that you may never use.
You start your adult life in debt.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I've seen it over and over.
I mean,
and over
I'm not
again.
saying don't do it, but it's just not for everybody.
Well, education should be something that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. And whether it be in ministry or whether it be in business or engineering or medicine, do it because you want to improve your mindset. You want to improve your level of knowledge. And I've got clients in our firm who are in their 70s and 80s who still talk about learning and learning something new. I've got a client right now who's a crafter. She's got her doctorates in health and human services, but she will take like my Blue Label bottle there, and she'll turn that into, what is it called, smelting? No, they basically melt glass and turn it into these beautiful art pieces, and they teach other people how to do it.
Oh, sweet.
So it's not like, oh, this is my special skill. It's, hey, you can get some joy. Excuse me. You can get some joy out of this as well by learning how to do a craft that goes back hundreds of years. And what's interesting is it's the joy it brings, or not the capital joy. Now, if you make some money at it, they're really happy about that, and they have. But what she's more excited about is seeing the joy it creates in other people's lives from doing something that she enjoys. And so one of the things that encouraged me about you guys is that every year, Patrice, I've seen you make these wreaths since I've known you.
Yes.
And you get really, really festive around this time of year.
That's right. It's the most wonderful time
It
of
is,
the year.
isn't it? It's so cool. I do. I love this time of year. You know, we've got so many things around us right now that we were talking about a few minutes ago to be so easy to get really negative really quickly. But when you count the blessing,
we need Christmas this year.
we really do, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's not about those superficial gifts. It's about the gift that keeps on giving. And that joy is something that we get from God that we can give to others. And it can be in something like a candy cane to some candles. And one of the reasons I wanted to have you guys on the show is to show folks that, hey, you're getting joy as entrepreneurs right now at this level. And if it grows and when it grows, and so you got to act as if, right? You got to believe as if. When it grows, there's not just necessarily the joy for you, but there's a joy for others in that growth. So, I take folks back. I've talked about this in a few episodes, that if we go back and we look at a guy like Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon, and you go back, I think you can fact check me on this, or Ian. I think Jeff Bezos started Amazon in his apartment, 2-room apartment in San Francisco with his wife. And I think it was around 1997, guys, that he started Amazon in his 2-room apartment. And that guy is the wealthiest guy, the wealthiest man on the planet right now. And that little humble beginning, I think it was 1997. 1992. Sorry, I took 5 years from him. Even still, 1992 to 2020, in that period of time, to become the wealthiest man on this planet, a lot of that had to do with a mindset, because I remember being in the financial business for 25 years now. I remember the critics that now do nothing but sing his praises, Jeff Bezos, about what a great businessman he is. I remember in the 1990s, early 2000s, I should say, the dot-com bubble burst, that this little internet shopping mall called Amazon, that everybody was poking fun of him and going, used books? Who's going to buy used books online?
Yeah.
That is so dumb, man. And you're going to make that a publicly traded company? And here we are today, 20-some years later, one of the greatest companies on this planet that, we were talking about this off camera, but Amazon, that machine touches most of our lives. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there who poo-poo Amazon. And I go, well, why do that? He's created a footprint for you to be able to share your product online on the second largest search engine in the world right now, which is Amazon.
Right.
That's Google, then Amazon.
Right.
It's not Bing. It's not Safari.
Nah.
It's a shopping center online. That's the
Search engine.
and why wouldn't I put, if I've got a retail product, why wouldn't I try to put it out there in that marketplace? And if I can do that in a way that creates more efficiency or even branding for my product, I should look at that. And it's not just Amazon. There's communities out there like in the crafting world, like Etsy. And Noah, you brought up one earlier. What was it? FabFitFun.
Okay.
For folks that have unique items that they can sell online. So, the reason we talked about this is you guys agreed to be able to almost take you guys and say, let's prove it to the community that you can take a product that's not really out there in the marketplace yet, and we can create some new exposure for your product. And what I would share with the local community is this, and you guys, please tell me if you don't agree with this, but wouldn't it be nice to buy from small business on the back of Amazon, right? You got this big machine, but if they're going to help promote small business, why wouldn't I buy from a guy in Virginia Beach that's selling candles versus going to that Y store candle store when I know I'm supporting local community?
Right.
Why wouldn't I buy festive items from a local business creator who makes wreaths right here in Virginia Beach than to buy the one that was made by an operator in China?
Right.
So there's a way to support our local community, and would you guys agree with that? I would think you would.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah.
So Patrice, candy canes, in years before, where did this inspiration come from in creating candy cane wreaths?
Well, I have been doing for the past probably 4 years, maybe 5, the regular circular wreaths. And this year, I accredit everything back to God. And I was just sitting down thinking about it's Christmas time. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and it's time for me to begin doing something. And it just came to mind. These candy canes are beautiful. And I asked my son, would you put one of these on your door? He said, yeah. And that was all I needed. That's awesome. Just his go ahead to say yes. And I got at it. Yeah.
I didn't even know she made it. I just liked it.
Yeah, so these are some of your candy canes here. Let me put that up on the camera there. Can you guys see that okay, Ian? Yep. So it is beautiful. Very well crafted. Now, all the way down to, do you do the design on the snowballs there, or those come?
No, I purchased those.
You'll purchase those. Mm-hmm. So you'll purchase these different items.
But I make the bows, and then I put
Okay. Awesome. And then crafting the tapestry around the candy cane itself.
Yes.
How long does it take you to make one?
Just a little under an hour.
Wow.
Because I include the process. There's a process. Each one has a process.
Yeah.
And none of them are the same.
Yeah. So these are all handcrafted by you.
Mm-hmm.
What are you selling them for right now?
Those are going for $30.
Not 300.
Not 300.
Oh, $30.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I put a shout out to you today on my Facebook page because right now you're just posting those. You don't have a website up.
That's correct.
You're doing this right inside your community, which is beautiful. So if you go to Patrice Rick's
Yes.
Facebook account, you can see where you can purchase one of these, and you can put an order in with you there, right?
Correct.
Now, one of the things we're going to be working on with Leon in the coming weeks that we're going to post and actually put on our show, we're going to have Leon back, and we're going to walk through the Amazon store and creating an Amazon account and actually posting and listing your product online. Even though you've got a website right now, you haven't launched your website for Perfect 10 yet,
no,
right?
I have not.
Tell us about Perfect 10, what they're made of.
Okay.
And just anything you want to share with us about those.
Okay, so the Perfect 10, 100% soy.
So soy candles.
Soy
okay.
candles. They're all natural.
Got that, Ian?
These are 6-ounce tins, and they come in 6 to 7 common scents.
That one smells good.
Hey.
What is the blue one?
It's Cool Breeze.
Cool. Oh, I picked up the right Cool Breeze. That's me. Look, matches my shirt.
It does, doesn't
Cool.
it?
So they have,
like
it's cleaner if you're not
Yeah.
familiar with the soy versus your standard wax that the doodle guys use.
Okay. So it burns cleaner?
It burns cleaner. It doesn't let off paraffins, the black soot. If you put a candle close to a wall, it'll leave black on your wall, you know.
Okay.
And this is the same carcinogens you're breathing in while the candle's lit. So soy
know.
is natural. You can put it on your skin, rub it in. It's just a cleaner. It's better for your lungs. It burns longer.
Okay.
Because what the flame is doing is melting the soy, and then it solidifies again.
Okay.
And it's and then eventually evaporates, as opposed to burning.
Got it.
So this 6-ounce tin gives you 40 plus hours of burn time.
How much you said again?
40 plus hours.
Wow. A constant burn. So if I left this burning,
Yes.
I'd be getting 40 plus hours of burn from it.
Yeah.
Burn time. That's pretty good for a small candle.
It is.
What is that in relation to some of the competitors out there that would? Have you tested against?
I have not tested, but I know that it's not that long.
Yeah.
I don't know the precise, but they go fast. You know, if that was standard wax.
Yeah. That is a nice clean burn. I don't know if you can't see
And
that.
you see the smoke is not black, you know.
Yeah. So if I blow this candle out, it won't smoke black. Is that what you're saying? All right, let's put it to the test. Just white.
Just white.
Smells good when I blow it out too. I blow out a regular candle.
Do you want to put the top on because it smells like something on fire, right? Yeah. So this is just to give you a little lingo. The cold throw is how it smells out of the jar.
What is that called again?
It's called the cold throw,
Cold throw. Okay.
and that's how the fragrant it smells without being lit.
That smells really good now that I've even blown it out.
I've been wanting a lemon cupcake for like 20 minutes now.
That's what we burn in there, lemon
That's a
cupcake.
lemon,
Okay.
Yeah. And then the heat throw is how, because some candles have a cold throw, which makes you buy it when you smell it, and then when you light it, the heat throw isn't the same as the cold throw.
And
It doesn't smell nothing like, Apple or whatever, Granny Smith or whatever it's supposed to be. It doesn't give you that when you light it. But these are true too.
What is it? This one's white. What is this?
It's written on. I have the actual fragrance.
Oh, if I would read, actually, I would.
On the front. You see it?
I'm blind. Vanilla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vanilla cream, huh?
Yes.
Like,
I
you
might take a
smell
bite
the
of
buttery undertones. There's layers to it, man. There's layers in there.
that. Are these non-toxic? So if I had a little.
The fragrance makes it unedible. The soy alone would be safe, but the fragrance.
But you probably don't want to get the
you
fragrance
don't.
in.
Nah.
Yeah. All right, I'll refrain from taking a bite then.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No, dude.
Right now, what scents have you designed and do you produce?
So I have vanilla cream, which is sweet. I have a cool breeze.
Which is this? Yeah. Okay.
I have lavender, which I call lavish.
Lavish.
It's a staple. Most people. That's one of them fragrances you either hate it or love it. You know, it's aggressive.
Right.
So that's a part of my staples. I also have the lemon cake. I have a fresh linen.
Yeah.
Which is like fresh laundry.
So I'm brainstorming with you for a minute now. You can tell me I'm crazy.
Come on, get it to me.
All right. So I've been in studios before with some of my music clients in the past.
Right.
And they tend to burn candles in these places and some other things. So, trying to be funny. Did you guys pick up on that? Patrice, I'm sorry.
I did.
Yeah,
I got that one.
But the legal stuff they're burning, they tend to burn a lot of candles. Have you thought about kind of marking yourself to more of these, the perfect 10? You were telling me that men typically don't like to go buy frou-frou candles. So this is your design really trying to reach that market of guys who like things that smell good, right?
It is.
What
studio owners in a perfect world, dorm room, guys who going off for the first time.
What if we came up with some names that kind of like reach those music dudes or kind of had that studio flavor?
That'll be sweet. So as far as the fragrance is concerned, that'll be sweet.
Yeah, like lavish. That sounds almost like a rapper's name right there.
Yeah.
2 Chainz rappers or something. Lavish. I don't know. I'm struggling here with some names. What sizes do these come in right now?
They're in 6-ounce tins.
Okay. And these are, is that 6 ounces?
Yep.
Wow. I don't know my math well. Will you come out with any other sizes or any packages?
I have 6-ounce glass, which is for the visuals. You can see more of the color through glass.
Yeah.
And that's just for vending events. But this is 80% tins. I will do glass if people ask.
Okay.
I'll do bigger. I've done bigger vessels. I've done a 24-ounce before.
Wow.
Like a super huge guy.
Yeah.
And I put 2 wicks in,
Okay.
But, the standard is the 6-ounce.
Okay.
And the seasonal fragrances.
You got some seasonal fragrances now that come out? Like candy cane?
We're doing the cranberry marmalade at the moment. I had coffee before, but it's not right now. I have the cranberry marmalade.
Have you run into any problems with COVID, like messing up any of your supply chain or getting materials from your
When it first started, everything was just slow.
Yeah.
It would come, but it took long.
You do all of this by hand.
Yes.
Right now, so you cook in your kitchen.
I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah, cook. Yeah. So cooking, by the way, that's not like any of you Breaking Bad folks out there. This is only candles.
See that? See the flick of the wrist?
You've got a style and technique there.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, how long does it take to make a batch?
A batch, it depends on how many I'm making, but in a batch, about 30 minutes.
Okay, and that a batch, and I guess we should define that.
That's what.
How many dozens or how many 6-ounce cans can you come up with?
In one pour is 4 tins in a pour, but a lot of the time comes from waiting because it's science. So you has to reach a certain temperature before you add this, and then come down to another temperature before you pour.
Okay.
So most of that time is waiting for it to cool.
And so you've got your tins kind of all prepped out. Yep. You've got an assembly line process you use.
Yep.
Are you adding fragrance at that time during your
at the height of the temperature?
And does that help with disbursement?
Yes.
Like how it flows through the candle at the burn time, and you're getting that constant scent, not sitting at the bottom.
Right. And then you got to flicker the wrist. When it heats the temperature, you add color if you want, and your fragrance. And a few other things, I can't tell her all the secrets.
You got your secret sauce. All right. Is there a different process that different candle makers have? That everybody kind of has their own little way of doing it. I mean, obviously, big production might be different than a small entrepreneurial production that you're doing. But is there anything specific to your process that sets you apart other than the soy and the fragrances you pick?
It's the joy.
The joy that it brings. The flick of the wrist. So where do you see this going for you just from the candle business? What do you envision a year from now?
I really wanted, I saw it as a subscription-based program, where people would do a monthly kind of thing. And, we send a certain amount of tint per month, this scent, that scent. Birthday, you get something else, these tiers, this amount, you get a cut, the fire click, what do you call that?
The lighter you're talking about?
But the one you click, is there a name for that?
Oh, I don't know, man. You're the candle maker.
Fact checkers.
Fact checkers. With those lighters.
The candle library. Click. All right.
The big long lighters that has the...
Right.
Yeah.
Just all candle accessories,
Yeah.
Maybe put the logo on matchbooks or, But that was my initial thought, was to try to get it to a subscription level, because it's a product that you use up and it needs to refill,
Right.
And, it would be personal and custom. Like, I would know what the customer, like, you wouldn't get the same sense she would get if you were both members of this program,
So, again, we're talking to an audience today that this is still in early development stage.
Correct.
We're not talking to someone that has, hundreds of thousands of orders.
Right.
Going out. We're actually going to test this, see this, and watch an idea that's in your mind and try to bring it to fruition. You're taking a big step here. We're going to document it.
I like it. Are we bringing the people with us?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're going to put it out there in front of people and
say,
say, but I want to be able to give people inspiration to say whether you want to craft and, do a few of these each year, each holiday.
Right.
Give people the inspiration that if you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You step through this process of being an entrepreneur, and it's not for the faint of heart, right? You've probably had some challenges.
Yes.
You've probably come up with some ideas that haven't worked out, right?
Yeah, that's that fishing pole that didn't get no hits.
And that I remember back a number of years ago, we were talking about the music business, and just using this as an example, I'd shared with you that these music clients that I work with, between them all, there's over 60-some Grammys, 63 I think was last count, awards, and nominations is in the hundreds.
Sweet.
But if you go back and look at their inventory of things that no one has ever heard, you would probably measure that as failure.
Right.
You'd go, oh, you've got all this stuff you've done that never made it to the light of day, never made it to iTunes.
Right.
Can you relate to that, from music to being an entrepreneur?
Definitely. The more you shoot, you increase the odds of making it,
Yeah.
You got to keep inventory, keep working, because you never know who will come, who wants to see your work, who wants to check your work. And if I have one good record, I don't want to have only two other good records,
Yeah.
I got to keep working, keep pushing. Let's just keep on going. The candles, I may have no orders, but I'm gonna still wake up and make some.
Yeah. It's almost cathartic, right?
Right.
Like this. You said earlier, it's part of therapy. Of
Right.
You're doing this for the joy of it.
Right.
Enjoy Jesus, others, and you. Right.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So, Patrice, do you make candy canes and wreaths outside of the holidays? What do you craft, or what do you do in the years where you're not crafting for the holidays?
Well, for the candy canes, I'm going to try to roll it into some sports colors as well. So that would take me outside of the holiday season. But during the rest of the year, I have a product called Doorknob Blessings. And those just hang on your doorknob, whatever door you enter or exit for your household. And it is a constant reminder that God is looking at you, and it reminds you to pray and ask God to bring you back to your house safely. So then that's ongoing. That's season, not seasonal. It can be whatever month of the year, and it's a goal to have that in every household because everybody's got a doorknob. Everybody has to get out of their house through a door.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
the entryway, exitway. Yeah,
that's another
cool.
one of my products.
So, Pastor Ricks, have you made him any Chicago Bears paraphernalia for him?
Yes. The Bears. Got to give a shout out to the Bears.
Can you do that for other folks as well? If they want a team specific wreath or candy cane, you can.
Yes,
you can do that for them.
Hit me up. Yes.
All right. Now, what is your Facebook account again? If they want to come and get a wreath from you,
Patrice Ricks.
Candy cane. Patrice Ricks.
Patrice Ricks.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, yes.
And as this blows up, you might have your own web page or Etsy or some other crafting page.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So, Leon, if folks want to reach out to you from music to figuring out how to get candles from you right now. And also, I forgot to tell folks, I looked at your watch. You designed and made some watches for a while. You still do that? Still got that?
I do have. It's that pole is still there, right?
Okay.
It's there.
So, where does that inspiration come from? Are you always looking for what's that new opportunity? What's that new idea? Where do you get that inspiration and desire to try something new? Do you think that's something that you inherited, or?
I would say it is in my DNA, but I can't even tell you how or why. I just wake up and can't stop thinking.
Yeah. You told me off camera, we were talking about the music business, that years ago in church, your mom was playing piano.
Right.
And actually, Patrice, I think you had said it, that you were telling me, what did Leon do when he saw you playing?
Yes, we were at choir rehearsal one evening, and I was on the piano. He said, I'm going to get on the organ, and I'm going to accompany you. And I thought, well, I don't know what he's talking about, but go ahead. I try to encourage.
How old was that?
I think 12, maybe. 12.
Wow.
Yeah, he could barely reach. I don't know if he could reach the foot pedals on the organ, but he hopped up onto the organ and he actually started playing. And the choir members were like, "Wow," And as Christians, we try to encourage the young people, and so each week, I mean, you could see the increase, and within the year, or maybe two. He had passed me, all of my years of studying music, the gift that God had given him. And the word says, your gift will make room for you. His gift has made room for him. He cannot walk past a keyboard without touching it. And so that's how I know. And when he would go to bed at night, wake up in the morning, there was always music in his room, music coming out of his room. Can you turn the music down? He's just always a lover of music. Yeah, if I go to his house, I'm trying to find the remote to kind of sneak and turn the music down.
So that's the creative in you. I mean, that creative has come out not only in music, but in the actual gift of your hands and making something, which I can see has come, not too far from the apple tree, right? That blessings. I'm still trying to figure out how Pastor Rick's flows in that. But, and we're going to find out later what that gift is.
Yeah. And what he make on the side.
That's right. That's right. He thought we'd forgotten. We haven't forgot, Pastor. Yeah. So, talking about inspiration in this time of year and where we gain inspiration from, obviously, for us as Christians, we get inspiration from Scripture. Are there any other books? Are there any other things you guys are reading right now where you would say you're gaining inspiration from?
Well, I was reading Becoming by Michelle Obama.
Becoming?
Yes.
Okay.
Becoming.
I've
And
not grabbed that yet.
it's very good, and especially right now when we've been going through so much with the voter issues and the election, and I do work as an elections official, and so it's become very dear to my heart. But if you pick that book up, Becoming by Michelle Obama, it gives you a lot of insight on what the Obamas faced when they went into the White House. Yeah. And it's also about her life before she got to the White House. Yeah. Tells you the story of a young black girl coming up in the United States. Yeah. Very good read.
Can you talk on that for a few minutes? Because this year, 2020, not only have we seen COVID, but we saw some craziness happen in places like Minnesota, and just some atrocities take place in our country that as black people in the community, what level of empathy do you have as people who have you experienced the things that we've heard about with others growing up? Patrice, I mean, I'm not going to ask a lady her age, but I happen to know things like that.
That's
being
right.
an advisor to you, but you come from a period in the 60s. Mm-hmm. What was it like growing up for you?
Well, it was whenever you grow up, you feel like kind of whatever you live is normal. Mm-hmm. However, I'm just going to tell a little bit of my personal story. When I was in the 5th grade, and I was, of course, at an all-black elementary school.
So segregation hadn't happened yet?
No, had not happened.
Okay. Or segregation. Integration hadn't happened yet.
Yeah, integration hadn't happened.
Yeah.
And it was, the typical rundown, ragged books. And there was a teacher who came, a white lady who came over from an all-white school. And she read a book to us. And she was so elegant. And I said, "Where do you teach?" And she told me. And the next year, the laws changed to say that if you wanted to enroll your children in a different school, you could. So it was integration coming into being. And I told my parents, I want to go to that school where that lady teaches.
Wow.
I want to learn what she knows. And they gave me the opportunity. However, there were no buses, so I walked. And this is true. I walked 45 minutes one way.
Wow.
And girls couldn't wear slacks. I'm really dating myself, but you had to wear the dresses, and no matter how cold or how hot, I walked the 45 minutes there. And my father got off early, so he would pick me up if there was inclement weather to bring me home. But to get to that school, it was like night and day. You know, the condition of the building in Norfolk.
Wow.
And so I went there, and then I moved on to
what school was that?
Junior high. It was Crossroads. That was the Crossroads in Norfolk.
In Norfolk.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Norview area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So before integration happened, what school were you at?
I was at Oakwood.
Oakwood. Mm-hmm. And that was an all-black school?
All-black school, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember the teacher's name?
I do not.
That would be cool. And that's
she's probably. I was gonna say she's
probably.
She's on to glory now.
Yeah. She may be looking down at this podcast.
Yeah, right. Going, you should have remembered my name. What's Kenny's going to ask?
You gotta sound more elegant.
No.
I tried. I can't pull off the Barry Wilson. Wow. So
but anyway, let me fast forward. I went to Norview High School, and Now, that was really bad experiences because there were not many blacks at Northview High School, and I was driving. And I remember one day I drove up into a parking space when I got back out of class, and I started my car. Some of the guys who were watching me, the white guys, had gone under my hood, and they jimmied my gas pedal. So when I put it in reverse, it just went zoom.
Oh,
and,
wow.
They did not want us there.
Oh, man.
But the law said we could be there.
Yeah.
And so there have been many times that I've faced that type of opposition. And we, being black people, thought that we had kind of passed over that hump.
Yeah.
But somehow we have reversed.
Yeah.
And we fast forward to 2020, and we realized that the progress we thought we had made really has not been made. And all the laws that are trying to be changed, I just want to say that changing laws really is not going to help, but changing of hearts.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come from inside.
Yeah.
And we have to have dialogue with each other.
Yeah.
Because unless you walk in my shoes, and you, Kenny, would never walk in my shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing, you'd not be a woman.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah.
I'll ask Kat about that. But
Yeah. I don't have any high heels in my closet. Let me know.
And the other thing is you would not be black because
Yeah.
God made you white.
Yeah.
And so the only way you would halfway know what I experienced is that we dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think we need
That's
a
good.
lot of dialogue, and then we need some hearts to be changed rather
Yeah.
than a lot of laws.
Yeah.
Taking down these monuments, it's okay, but unless the stony monuments don't do anything, but it's the stony hearts that
yeah.
need to change.
Man,
Wow.
go to Oregon.
That's
hat,
beautiful.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta bring her in. Man.
But you know what? That is a beautiful message to share with people. That
Yeah.
it's, and I would concur with that. That the heart, as a man's heart, right? So so goes the man.
Right. Yeah.
So, Leon, hearing that from your mom,
I didn't know, man.
isn't that crazy? Dude, if you knew some dudes
Should've
mess with
called
your
me,
mom's
man.
car,
She should have called me, bro. Like,
yeah,
You weren't even thought of in my mind.
That's
You were
right.
in God's mind, but
yeah,
not.
yeah. What a crazy concept, right? That when your grandmother had you, he was in the womb.
That's right.
Isn't
That's
that crazy?
Right. Yeah.
And Scripture talks about that.
Yeah.
But, Leon, so we're similar in age. I'm a little grayer, a lot grayer. Let me just say. We were joking off camera. I was like, man, black does not crack. And when you
I'm
get,
25.
you're 20.
My BFF told
yeah,
you.
yeah, that's right, Noah. What was your experience growing up in high school in Hampton Roads and elementary school?
Well, my elementary school was always the only black guy, or it was always one black student.
Yeah.
I went to Virginia Beach Public Schools. So
Okay.
It was always one, like at least one, maybe two is a stretch, in each class.
Wow.
Of 30,
Yeah.
And so we all kind of were cool by default,
Yeah.
I knew every black kid in my elementary school.
Yeah.
And then it got more as middle school came. It was more diverse, high school was more diverse.
Yeah.
But elementary felt weird. And, that was
Do you think kids got meaner as they got older?
meaner.
Like, do you think, kids don't come out of the womb learning how to be prejudiced.
Right.
That's something that's taught, and it's something that is in the heart. And how do I go back and say this in a way where I think we all have prejudice
Right.
That's right.
towards something, not
Right.
necessarily a
Right.
person's color or
Right.
the way it could be the way they look or the way they dress.
Right.
And until we try to take a moment to empathize with
Right.
their position or learn more about their position.
Yes.
We've got friends in our church now. I've got a friend from Bangladesh, Safir. Shout out Safir.
Sophia.
And it's really cool to be able to see some of his experience and eat some of the food that he would eat. And then we've got a Jewish friend who actually married Safir. It's in our church, and we went through. Oh God, Emily's going to kill me for not remembering what that service or Christmas thing we did last year. What was it called? Oh God, Emily, we're sorry, but she actually did a like a Jewish Passover meal. Sorry, Emily, I'm going to screw
Seder?
that up. What is it?
Seder?
Seder, yeah. Oh, there you go. And so we had this whole meal prepared for us, and what each part of the plate represented in that ceremonial meal, representing, Passover. And it was really cool to experience that and to have understanding of another
culture,
person's
right.
culture
Right.
and way of being and living.
Instead of just assuming and
Yeah, my country butt,
Right.
like, give me some black-eyed peas and some
Right.
cornbread and some fried chicken. That I grew up in the South. You would think I was a black kid just
Right,
saying that,
okay,
right? Because you
yeah,
had these stereotypical ways of how people grow up.
right.
And until you can actually have empathy for another person's position, then I don't know that you can even have a chance of trying to put a foot in their shoe.
Right.
So, thank you for sharing that and for sharing that with our audience. That that's the beautiful thing about having you guys on my show, is to be able to say that I think that has a lot to do with your entrepreneurial spirit, is that you don't take on another person's behavior or what another person's going to put on you. It's what you believe about yourself, that your beliefs drive your behaviors drive your relationship. Your relationships drive your results. And that's one of the things I can commend you for and say that I've seen in you, is that you have a belief that comes from above, which drives the behavior that you have in your heart, which drives the results that you get every day. And those results are there relationally in the people that you're with in your community. So I'm glad I'm in community with you guys. Thank you for sharing your business with us today and with our audience.
Thank you, man.
And so we're going to pick up with this in a follow-up episode where we're going to test the product, Leon. We're going to put it out there, and we're going to share with people your business, kind of take it, stair-step it through a process that they can see. And thank you for allowing us to do that.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
And please go out and buy some Perfect 10s.
Perfect 10.
Christmas is right around the corner.
Yes,
Make great gifts.
Yes, and they're actually in my office. If you come in my office, you'll see I have these, and I actually give them away to clients. So if you want to be a client of Kenneth Porter and Company and part of our financial services firm, you'll get a nice candle from Perfect 10, and you might even have a nice candy cane on your doorstep, or on your door, not your doorstep, on your door for Christmas. So happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Same
to you,
Same
man.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
God bless you. And,
What's better, baked turkey or fried?
Ham.
Ham. Oh.
So my daughter does this really good like buttermilk brine. So we're going to do a buttermilk brine turkey this year, and then I'm going to slow roast it on an open fire. I've got this little rotisserie thing I've bought.
You showing out.
Yeah. So I like to cook a little bit.
So we can meet
Please
the day after.
No, you can come over day of.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we will. Oh, you guys want to come over to the house? We'll share some turkey with you.
Turkey, man.
Please. We're going to have, I can't say how many people we're going to have there.
Moist.
That's right.
Have the governor after me.
Don't say it.
Of course, we're gonna all have our mask on,
Right.
gloves.
Social
Yes,
distance.
right. We're gonna, like this. We're distancing now. So, but yeah, man, we're gonna act as if that God has taken this stinky COVID virus away, and
Right.
we're gonna be safe, but we're also gonna enjoy our family into the holidays, and enjoying these holidays with you guys, and bringing some joy to people through candles and wreaths. Thank you for sharing that with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And we're going to chat soon, Leon, so we're going to have you back on episode 20-something.
For sure.
So thanks again, guys. We appreciate you. It was fun.
Real, man.